The Viking Age, spanning from the late 8th to the early 11th century, remains one of the most captivating chapters in human history, an era defined by restless seas, relentless exploration, and fierce warriors whose legacy still echoes today. Yet beneath the popular tales of raiding and conquest lies a complex culture often misunderstood and unfairly judged. The Vikings were not merely ruthless invaders. They were master navigators who braved the unknown, charting vast oceanic expanses with unparalleled skill and courage. Their ships, sleek and sturdy, symbolized a connection between humanity and the wild, unpredictable forces of nature, an embodiment of resilience and daring spirit. Through their voyages, they reshaped the medieval world, connecting distant lands from Scandinavia to the shores of North America, weaving new threads into the tapestry of history. However, this age was also marked by contradictions, brutality entwined with tradition, ferocity balanced by deeply held beliefs. The Vikings' raids were terrifying, yes, but they also represented survival and assertion of identity in a harsh world. Their culture, rich in rituals, stories, and art, reveals a people who understood both the fragility and the power of life. To truly grasp the Viking Age is to embrace this duality, the awe-inspiring spirit of adventure and the haunting shadows of their violence. It challenges us to look beyond the stereotypes and see the Vikings as complex humans shaped by their environment and their time, whose courage and flaws continue to fascinate and provoke reflection. Their story invites us to contemplate the timeless human quest for meaning, belonging, and legacy amid chaos and change. In understanding them, we come closer to understanding the enduring human spirit that pushes us into the unknown, no matter the cost. Among the many enigmatic figures of the Viking Age, the Berserkers stand out as the living embodiment of raw, untamed fury, a terrifying force that transcended the boundaries of human strength and fear. These warriors, whose very name evokes the primal power of the bear, fought with a ferocity that seemed almost supernatural. In battle, they shed their armor and reason alike, entering a trance-like state, known as Berserkergang, where pain faded and madness took hold. Their howls echoed like wild beasts, and their savage attacks left enemies paralyzed with terror. It is said that in this frenzy, they became nearly unstoppable, immune to wounds, and driven by a burning rage that overshadowed all else. Some scholars speculate that these warriors may have sought the aid of mind-altering substances to achieve such a state, but whatever the cause, their power was undeniable. Yet this uncontrollable rage was a double-edged sword. The Berserkers' fury did not always distinguish friend from foe, sometimes turning inward to devastate their own communities. This unpredictable violence sowed fear even among their kin, ultimately leading to their banishment in some Scandinavian regions. As Christianity spread across the Viking world, the pagan rituals and wild nature of the Berserkers clashed with the new order, hastening their decline. But beyond the brutality, the Berserkers symbolize a profound human struggle, the tension between chaos and control, instinct and reason. They remind us of the depths of the human spirit where rage and passion can both empower and consume. Their story is not merely one of bloodshed, but a haunting glimpse into the primal forces that lie within us all, forces that can drive us to extraordinary heights or lead us into darkness. In contemplating the Berserkers, we confront the raw essence of humanity, its capacity for both destruction and survival forever echoing through the thunderous roar of history. The image of the tattooed Viking warrior has captured the imagination of many, symbolizing a culture rich with meaning, identity, and resilience. Though the passage of time has eroded the physical traces of their inked skin, historical accounts like that of the Arab traveler Ahmad ibn Fadlan paint vivid pictures of Vikings adorned from fingers to neck, with intricate tattoos, serpents, trees, and symbols that told stories deeper than words. These tattoos were more than mere decoration. They were an outward expression of the wearer's beliefs, achievements, and place within a fiercely hierarchical society. The pain endured during the tattooing process, performed with rudimentary tools and without any relief, echoed the toughness and endurance so highly prized in Viking culture. Each line and curve etched into their skin served as a permanent reminder of their connection to nature, the gods, and their community. Tattoos marked rites of passage, victories in battle, and personal transformations, making the body a living canvas of identity and spirituality. In a world defined by constant struggle and the unpredictable forces of the sea and war, These markings offered a sense of control and meaning, something unbreakable etched onto flesh. Yet beneath this external armor lay a deeper human need to be seen to belong and to carry with oneself the stories that define a life. Viking tattoos thus stand as a testament to the timeless human desire to assert identity, endure hardship, and connect with something greater. They remind us that even amidst chaos and conflict, people seek symbols of hope, power, and faith inked permanently, not just on skin, but into the very fabric of their existence. In embracing their tattoos, the Vikings revealed a vulnerable yet fierce spirit, one that challenges us to look beyond the surface and recognize the enduring power of human expression. The notion of cannibalism often evokes shock and revulsion, and when linked to the Vikings' fierce seafarers and warriors, it conjures images of a brutal and merciless people. Yet beneath the horror lies a complex and deeply human story woven into the fabric of survival ritual and the extremes of existence. While cannibalism among Vikings was not widespread, historical records and archaeological findings suggest that it did occur under certain grim circumstances. The Norse sagas, a blend of myth and history, recount chilling tales where consuming the flesh of fallen enemies was seen not merely as an act of desperation, but as a powerful ritual. This gruesome practice was believed to transfer the strength and spirit of the dead to the living, a haunting testament to the intimate connection between body, soul, and the unforgiving world they inhabited. Archaeological discoveries of cut-marked human bones in Viking burial sites further complicate our understanding, blurring the lines between ritual defleshing and survival cannibalism. Some scholars argue that such acts arose in moments of extreme famine or siege where the instinct to endure overcame taboo. Others contend that it was a deliberate symbolic act meant to intimidate enemies and demonstrate dominance. This ambiguity reflects the harsh realities of life during the Viking Age, an era where the boundary between life and death was perilously thin and survival often demanded unimaginable sacrifices. Cannibalism in this context is more than a gruesome curiosity. It reveals the raw, primal edge of humanity when confronted with relentless hardship. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about the limits of morality in extreme situations and challenges our modern perceptions of what is acceptable. More than anything, these acts underscore the profound human desire to grasp power, even if only through ritualized violence, in a world where the gods and fate seemed as unpredictable as the sea they sailed. Through understanding this dark chapter, we glimpse the complexity of Viking life, not just as warriors and raiders, but as people shaped by desperation, belief, and the fierce will to survive. Their story invites us to reflect on the fragile line between civilization and savagery and the enduring human struggle to find meaning amid chaos. Human sacrifice was a somber and profound pillar within the spiritual world of the Vikings, reflecting a belief system that intertwined life, death, and the divine in ways both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Far from mere acts of cruelty, these sacrifices, known as blood, were seen as essential offerings to the gods, necessary to maintain the delicate balance between the mortal realm and the divine forces governing fate and fortune. The rituals were solemn ceremonies, often conducted during times of crisis, great change, or important festivals where blood was believed to nourish the gods and ensure protection, prosperity, and cosmic harmony. The chilling accounts from chroniclers like Adam of Bremen describe grand festivals at Uppsala where human lives were surrendered alongside animals, a sacrifice deemed crucial to the survival and success of Viking society. To the Vikings, such acts were not simply about death, but about renewal and connection. They were a language of devotion spoken through profound sacrifice. The victims, often prisoners or slaves, became intermediaries between worlds, their fates entwined with the spiritual health of the entire community. This belief in blood as a sacred currency reveals a people deeply attuned to forces beyond the tangible forces that demanded respect and at times fearsome offerings. While modern sensibilities recoil at the idea of human sacrifice, understanding its place in Viking culture invites us to see a civilization grappling with existence, mortality, and the unknown. It underscores how spirituality and survival were inseparable, how faith could command even the most harrowing acts in the name of collective well-being. The rituals of sacrifice echo the Vikings' profound reverence for life's cyclical nature, birth, death, and rebirth, reminding us that their world was one where the seen and unseen danced in fragile balance. In confronting this reality, we are invited to reflect on the depths of human belief, the lengths to which communities will go to secure hope in an uncertain world, and the timeless tension between compassion and duty. The Viking sacrifices in all their tragic gravity stand as a haunting testament to the complex, often paradoxical nature of humanity itself. The haunting ritual of the Viking slave girl's cremation stands as a stark and sorrowful testament to the harsh realities of Viking society and its rigid social hierarchy. In this world where honor and loyalty intertwined with profound beliefs about the afterlife, the lives of thralls, Viking slaves were often marked by suffering and subjugation, even beyond death. The account of Ahmad ibn Fadlan offers a rare, chilling glimpse into this solemn and tragic ceremony, where a chosen slave girl was sacrificed to accompany her deceased chieftain into the afterlife. The gravity of this ritual reveals a culture where death was not an end, but a passage requiring tangible proof of devotion and service. The slave girl's journey, intoxicated, ritually abused, and ultimately strangled and stabbed, reflects the painful intersection of duty, power, and sacrifice. Her body laid beside the chieftain on the funeral pyre symbolized a bond that transcended life itself, a final act of submission and honor. Yet beneath the ritual's spiritual veneer lies a heart-wrenching story of loss and coercion. Though Ibn Fadlan suggests the girl accepted her fate, the harsh reality was likely one of little choice, underscoring the vulnerability and disposability of those at society's lowest rungs. This sacrifice speaks volumes about the complex dynamics of power within Viking culture, the chieftain's status magnified by the ultimate offering of another's life. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about how belief systems can justify acts that modern eyes see as brutal and unjust. The slave girl's cremation ritual embodies a paradox, an expression of reverence for the dead entwined with an undeniable act of violence and oppression. It invites us to reflect on the human cost of cultural traditions, the sacrifices made in the name of honor and spiritual belief, and the silent suffering of those whose voices history often fails to fully capture. In remembering this ritual, we honor not only the strength of Viking traditions, but also the lives lost within them, the fragile humanity at the core of even the most formidable societies. The Blood Eagle ritual stands as one of the most harrowing and macabre chapters in Viking lore, a brutal testament to the extremes of vengeance and power in a world governed by fierce honor and unyielding wrath. This grisly execution, described vividly in Norse sagas, involved the gruesome act of cutting open the victim's back, severing ribs from the spine, and pulling the lungs out to form grotesque wings while the condemned was still alive. Such an unimaginable cruelty transcends mere punishment. It is a terrifying spectacle meant to invoke fear, assert dominance, and exact a vengeance so profound that it echoes through generations. The ritual reflects the Vikings' belief in the power of blood and suffering as a currency to appease gods and spirits, as well as a stark warning to enemies. It embodies the paradox of a people who are not only masterful seafarers and warriors, but also steeped in symbolic acts of horror that underscored their complex spirituality and societal codes. The Blood Eagle forces us to confront the darker aspects of humanity, the capacity for inflicting pain, as a language of authority, control, and revenge. It's a chilling reminder that beneath the veneer of civilization lies a primal core where rage and retribution manifest in the most visceral forms. Yet beyond its horror, the ritual speaks to a society grappling with concepts of justice, honor, and the afterlife, where the boundaries between life and death, mercy and cruelty, were blurred by belief and tradition. This act of violence, horrific as it is, also reveals the depth of meaning the Vikings attached to vengeance and memory, how pain was etched into history not only as punishment, but as legacy. To look upon the Blood Eagle is to peer into the soul of a culture that wielded terror as both shield and sword, challenging us to reflect on the enduring human struggle between wrath and redemption. It stands as a stark symbol of the extremes of human experience, a haunting echo that reverberates far beyond the cold northern seas. The Vikings embody a remarkable duality, a culture defined by fierce warriors and expert navigators, yet deeply rooted in spiritual traditions that were both awe-inspiring and fearsome. They navigated vast, treacherous seas with unparalleled skill and courage, bridging distant lands and forging connections that reshaped the medieval world. Their reputation as brutal raiders overshadows the profound complexity of their society, which balanced raw strength with a rich tapestry of beliefs and customs. These traditions, from sacred rituals to intricate art, reveal a people who sought to understand their place in a vast, unpredictable universe. The stark contrast within Viking culture between their relentless drive for conquest and their solemn reverence for the divine invite us to reconsider simplistic portrayals. Instead, we see a society wrestling with the forces of nature, fate and faith expressing both their humanity and their primal instincts. Their legacy challenges us to look beyond legends and myths to appreciate the resilience, creativity, and depth that define their way of life. In exploring the Viking Age, we uncover lessons about the endurance of the human spirit, the complexity of identity, and the timeless quest to find meaning amid chaos. The story of the Vikings teaches us that history is rarely black and white. It is woven with contradictions, brutality alongside bravery, chaos alongside order, destruction alongside creation. Their legacy challenges us to look beyond the surface of legends and stereotypes to understand the complex humanity beneath. In their fierce pursuit of survival and identity, the Vikings remind us of the resilience embedded within the human spirit, the relentless drive to explore the unknown, and the profound need for meaning amid life's uncertainties. Their rituals, both terrifying and sacred, echo the timeless struggle to reconcile power with vulnerability, instinct with reason. As we reflect on their world, we are called to appreciate the depth and diversity of human cultures, and to acknowledge that even the most daunting chapters of history holds lessons about courage, community, and the enduring quest for legacy. Ultimately, the Viking Age is a testament to the enduring complexity of humanity, a mirror reflecting our own capacity for both darkness and light, urging us to embrace our shared journey with empathy, wisdom, and courage.